I wonder what's on my what? See you soon, XOXO, with a YouTube comment? Let's click this. Wait, what does that say? Bumblicious grooming, stalking, and freak. Oh, well that ain't gonna happen.
Objection!
Now, it seems like Enable wanted to take this to trial with his response video, and I'm perfectly fine with that. This section will be debunking everything he has said that is completely wrong, with more evidence to prove my claims even more right. On top of that, anyone mentioned in this video should not be harassed and or bullied. Let them live their lives, as this will be ending the drama, as I believe that perhaps Cats has changed, but I would still prefer proof before I delete the video. In sense, I'm asking you Enable, in such sense, to provide proof that he has changed, and I will delete the video.
It's real. I can confirm that myself. I received the same message from Cats, and as a response to that, I got them banned from Discord.
Objection!
Now you see, that statement is inherently true, because that is the famous 2021 drama, where Cats and Enable had a huge crash out, and during the time, he had caused him multiple stress by claiming he was a pedophile on multiple servers. Now, at the same time, is that not what I'm doing? However, you have also claimed that it is okay, because he has so far changed as a person. Now, he can change in the course of 3 years, but I haven't known him in 3 years. When I knew him, screenshot right here where it ended, is going to be when he treated me like an object, stating that I didn't ask him to do much, so it should be fine. On top of that, here's 2 other screenshots where he treats me like nothing over 2 different objects. Here's the famous Mochi drama where Devil Fruit made me end up getting harassed, and here is the one where he had another person, who I'm not going to mention, completely message me over a GPO sword. Now, truthfully, is that going to show me and change as a person? Better yet, an apology for doing such? No, I have not gotten an apology within that time. So tell me, what change have I experienced to not think otherwise? Now, on top of that, you also choose to add a segment right here that says that I'm not trustworthy simply because I was defending him in the past during the famous 2021 drama that you guys had. But how is that fair? Because you also called him out for the same things that I am calling him out for back then, and now you're defending him? Wouldn't that make you a hypocrite? In a sense, that would make me a hypocrite too. I won't lie. Here's the proof. Boom, that's me saying it. I'll admit that. However, the difference is maybe you did get change and you still have not shown me it. But I never got change, and I still have a lot of people who are hurt and are expecting an apology as well.
Unfortunately, by Bright is the fact that the user was 12 to 13 years of age at the time of this incident. By no means does that make up for their actions. I'm just filling the blanks of information left out by Bright. I've known Cats for a long period of time. Our friendship has been pretty spotty due to the situation that's being talked about in the screenshot. I absolutely would not still be talking to them if I felt like they did not change and grow as a person.
Objection!
Hold up. Stop the tape. Did you just say that it was okay because he could have changed as a person? Now hold on. What stopped me from thinking that he changed as a person in 2021? That just doesn't seem fair at all. If you could believe it now and I couldn't believe it then, on top of that, if we're in the same category of the same mistake that happened literally 5 years apart. On top of that, another thing I want to add is, of course he might have changed as a person further on, and maybe he even apologized to you. But what apology did I get for how I was treated? Not a single one. What about the people that he hurt? Not a single one. That does not show change to me, especially when we have not talked in years. On top of that, another thing that I want to state that you are putting out mysteriously is that he was age 13. That's fine, but it still does not make it right. On top of that, you say I'm a groomer and pedophile, but if we look at my state ID right here, I was born in November 12, 2004, which means at the time, I was age 15. Now, we ended our friendship in 2023, meaning that I ended the friendship when I was 17. In that entire time, I was a minor and not a single adult. So what pedophile and groomer could I have been within that time if I had no interest in kids? On top of that, you also like to state another thing, but we'll get to that later.
You yourself have wronged them in the past. Yes, High School does know about Cats' past. They also know Cats was a young minor at the time of the incident, who was also influenced by you grooming them.
Objection!
See, groom. You tried this in 2023, and guess what? It didn't work. And guess what? Now it's still not gonna work. That's right. Here's a screenshot. Soak it in for a bit. Yeah, just soak it in. 2023. You guys tried this, and guess what? Bam. Not a single person believed you. On top of that, let's talk about the whole kids thing. Now, unfortunately, I don't like these little pieces of shit. They think they run the world just because they're young. On top of that, they think that even if you're not their parent, it's your job to raise them. And especially when they think that the world is theirs, which is not true. They need to be learned that the world is not theirs, and that's why I don't like kids. However, one thing I want to state is high school never told me he was 15 to 16, and that is super interesting to me. The only reason I was ever interested in him was the fact that I thought he was older, as he claimed he was during the high school and Travis arc. Now, unfortunately, I will admit that was my fault. I should have double checked his age, but I saw his beard, I saw his height, and I figured, well, why would he lie? So I will admit that's my fault there. And then our relationship never really lasted that long, especially on top of that. There was no grooming. I tried my best to make the relationship last, but unfortunately my obsessive nature, where I treat my partner pretty much like some type of pharaoh or god, was just too much for him. So no, there was no grooming, because if there was grooming, I would have tried to continuously get something when I genuinely did feel compassion and affection for this man.
Really immature if this is something Katz actually said, but I have never seen this incident before, nor have you or anyone else ever brought it to my attention.
Objection!
Now, I'll agree, that was extremely and highly immature if it did happen. However, you stated that I never told you this, and that's shocking. It's not, because to me, he was told that you were in on it. That's what I was told by him. So from my knowledge, one of my most trusted friends is telling me something about you when me and you did not have a level of trust at that time. So unfortunately, once again, I went the gullible route, and I believed him blindly, rather than maybe ask your side of the opinion when that's something I usually do. Now, my question is, if that's truthfully untrue, I'm completely down to even admit it, but I have never been given proof that would state otherwise. You were not acknowledging this fact. Now, I'm not gonna make some corny little song, sun is shining in the sky, there ain't a cloud in sight, because at the end of the day, I'm going to admit that that is on me. Those images are on me because within the first 4 months of our friendship, I could not process that I was finally an adult. I was finally someone that was given responsibilities, and it was still shocking for me, especially fresh during graduation. Now, one thing that I do want to comment on that is very concerning to me is I went through me and his previous DMs, and it seems like you have had him delete all of the content that was explicit that he sent me. Smart on you guys. However, I still have his old account here, and as you can see, from about 2019 to 2022, that's kind of how me and him interacted. Oh Jesus Christ, sorry about that. That was kind of pretty much just our thing. Was it a good thing to do? No. But we were both young minors who were a little bit too into that level of stuff. And unfortunately, I had to state, these days I am not. I have no interest in explicit material. I have no interest in explicit conversations. I don't even like people who will label themselves as aka gooners, or just even in adult chats specifically spend only explicit images rather than have a conversation. Because you've said people have changed. And unfortunately, within those quick 4 months, I did change. And I don't really have an interest in that level of stuff anymore. To me, my most valuable things these days are boxing, art, and, well, my job. There's nothing else really I do. Then you sent that first image thinking that that's something that I was into, when I have the screenshots to unfortunately once again prove otherwise. You see, here in 2019, this is when me and Katz's relationship had begun, he would send me links for content like this and state that he couldn't access them. So it was my job to send them. Now, another piece of this proof is me playing block search with them and being in a call. So obviously during this call, I probably had heard him mention something, and as I have said here with another screenshot where when he states that he wants something, I would have found it for him. Now that doesn't justify the fact that I should have been like, nah man, that's not right. But at the time, I still was in the 4 months of realizing that I was an adult, and I still did it. So that is going to be disproven immediately.
Objection!
Now, unfortunately, I also do have many screenshots that I could send, but I'm going to give him the respect and benefit of the doubt that you stated he changed as a person. Now, he admitted he was into plushies and other items, so that just proves furthermore that that's not my taste. On top of that, most of the explicit images that I have that I'm not going to put on those screen previously was of a younger demographic. However, you are telling me that he has changed as a person, and I still want to believe you on that, but you have not shown me any evidence, nor has he. I am not expecting an apology from him. I do not desire to be his friend anymore, as I've created my own little life, but I do expect an apology for the people that he has hurt. That is fair for him to do. He has hurt Coco, and I have not seen an apology for that at all. On top of that, he's still hurt other people like Z and them, and there's still not an apology offered to those people. Now, I'm going to give you an apology soon enough, but I cannot give him an apology if he was not willing to give me one. The only thing I could say is, I do apologize for the one thing I'm going to put on screen here. Whoop. That's right. What it states on the screen is that I had a problem, and I will tell you what that problem is. I was an obsessive friend. For me, my theory was that if you were my friend for about a year or two back then, you were going to die as my friend, and I could not picture any other outcome. This created a rather unhealthy level of friendship for me, where I believed that if I wasn't your friend, I wasn't really anything. I'm going to admit that, but I don't really believe that belief today, because unfortunately I've lived through my life for a bit, and I realize that people are just busy. And it's my job to make my own entertainment at certain times, and that's where I have to get my hobbies. Then you send this screenshot where I want to tell you I never knew Alter's age at all. Once again, this is on my part and my blame to never ask him. But I figured that he was over the terms of service age, which states that you need to be 13 use Discord. For his cousin to not know, to know this and to willingly allow him on the platform is endangering him, and that's once again both my fault for not asking and not my fault for being in a position where I'm introduced to someone that's supposed to be a part of the High Scodian group and I'm supposed to interact with them. On top of that, you want to willingly choose this picture that I sent him and the video, but this is the type of humor that the High Scodians had. This is me trying to fit in with the High Sco and them friend group. Here's a video of him, one video of him sitting a black man twerking, and there's multiple where there's just cropped porn gifs. Then you would like to state on top of that the hard R was a thing, when I have multiple screenshots of High Sco saying it, and then a few, right here, video of Kat saying it. At the end of the day, I suddenly stated mine, as you can see, a day after High Sco sent me it, and I spammed it. Now, I spammed things when I tried to be funny back then, because I thought, quality over quantity. No, quantity over quality, oops. But anyways, back to what I was trying to say. The difference that you're not understanding in this situation is that I didn't do it because I was racist. I did it because I wanted my partner at the time to think, oh, he's a funny dude. Look how funny that guy is. I think he's pretty cool. Which, honestly, didn't work. That's why we obviously didn't we broke up, because I wasn't, obviously, this type of person. But on top of that, another one you state is the N-word. I have my boyfriend right here stating that my mother is black. I am allowed to say that. And yes, I stated it to King Wayne, which she completely... I'm gonna blur that out, or beep it out. But anyways, where she overreacted in my sense, simply because of my skin color and not the context of who I am and my family heritage. On top of that, then you sent this one with Koro, where I still, once again, was a minor. And even then, that doesn't make it right, but I sent it for shock value humor, to be like, what? Can you believe this exists? Crazy world we're in. And then you sent this with a dog, and I want to state that during this time, I was attacked by a dog. I believe this was somewhere on Crest Hill, and I had a pit bull latch onto my arm and planned to probably take it off on top of my face. So I had a situation where I had to choose, do I choose to live, or do I choose to let this dog live? Unfortunately, I chose my life.
Objection!
So, in conclusion, as I've proven, the allegations of pedophile, groomer, and, I guess, animal killer is just not true. That's not who I am as a person. And yes, in the past I was a very sexual dude, but I've changed that and I don't really like that type of stuff anymore. And I want to ask you, Enable, before you listen to this apology, if Katz really has changed, if you are being 100%, you are telling me that he is now valuing people, he is giving them fair treatment, they are not being used, then please, leave a comment saying, like, on God, or something, or on Jinga. I'll believe you if you say on Jinga 100%, and at that point, I'll take the video down, because there's no reason to make a video on someone if you're telling me the truth that they have changed, because I believed in that change. I just never got to see it come to fruition. If you truly have seen it come to fruition, I would love to see. I've changed myself as a person, so I cannot hate on the idea that other people are changing themselves. Now, in the apology sense, I need to apologize for how I've treated you in the past. When I saw that Mochi screenshot, there was 3 things I saw. I saw you getting hostile with him. I saw you, defending me, but I saw you genuinely liking and calling me a good person. And I'd hate to state that maybe in that time I did not provide that for you. I provided something else. And that's because I was worried that when you and Kat started becoming friends, you were going to kick me out of the friend group. As you noticed, I started to only really kind of get you guys gifts and such, and that was my fault. I fully enabled that behavior by consistently still getting gifts, as you see in the end, where I'm still trying to gift him because I'm like, maybe you can still change, so that's why that was at the ending. But you saw me as a good person, and you genuinely saw me as a friend, when I saw you as someone that was against me. And for that I owe you an extremely heavy apology, because it means that I never really gave the friendship that you were offering a try, and I treated you very unfairly. Now, realistically, if anyone else made this little call-out video that you did, or the response, I would have probably fought back, and I would have continued fighting back. But it's the fact that it's you, of all people, who, in that entire friend group, truthfully valued me, is why I don't want to fight back. Because, in this sense, I can maybe show to you that I did appreciate who you were as a person, and I did hold you in a high respect regard. That's on me once again for not treating you as I should have, and I heavily apologize, but it's in the past and I can't make up for it. I'm not asking you to become my friend in the end, and I'm not asking for Cats to become my friend. Both of you go on your separate ways. I'm asking that you understand that I get how I treated you, and I'm asking that you understand that all I desire is evidence that he has changed as a person after the years of being used that I was provided. With that being said, I've disproven your things, and you're right, some of the things that I did were completely not acceptable, but I'm not going to just sit here and be like I didn't do them, because that's not fair. If I'm going to call someone out for their actions, it's only fair that I got called out for the certain ones that I had did. Especially if we're going to go on the topic of change. If we're going to talk about change, then there needs to be a certain level where I show a maturity that I lacked at a certain point, being about 18, and that was about for 4 months where I lacked that maturity. Past that, I really don't have else much to say. If you just can comment like, on Jinga, he's changed, I'll delete the video. I don't mind if you keep yours up, truthfully. But if you can prove to me that change has happened, and it can only be you, because you're the only person I'll believe, I'm willing to make that exception.